Hello there to you. Welcome along to the live stream. If you're watching on the replay, welcome, welcome, welcome. Noise removal techniques for podcasters coming up in this session. And big good day to you if you're tuning in. It's lovely to have you there. Give you some shout outs. Lots of moderators in today. It's great to see David Hunter. We got David Silk. We got Joe Salmi in as well. Nice to see you guys. Tim is in as well, pre-show, chatting away, getting ready to go. Is it that time already? Yes. Just over a minute until the show. Let's get ready to go.
Testing the left speaker. Left. Testing the right speaker. Right. Testing phaser. All frequency sweep. Stand by
for Music Radio Creative Live with Mike Russell.
MRC Live. Music Radio Creative Live.
With Mike Russell.
Starting in 30 seconds.
So excited to be here. Hello, I am Mike Russell, and this is the show for you. If you're an audio producer, if you work in radio, if you're a DJ, a podcaster, a voiceover artist looking to up your game with the sound you're creating in Adobe Audition or anything else, welcome. It's great to have you here. Let's get into it, shall we? Shall we do it? Let's do it. Nice.
Your audio production hour starts now. MusicRadioCreative.com.
Oh, and one other thing I should mention is that we have a phone-in number. Welcome to the show, by the way. If you're brand new, you can call me if I'm live and actually speak to me live. So if you've got a question you'd like to ask, you can do so by calling this number right now.
415-800-1055.
It's a +1 if you're outside the US to get through.
MusicRadioCreative.com.
It's a San Francisco number. How trendy is that? The 415 area code of the United States. When I was going through on Twilio picking out. It was between San Francisco, somewhere in the New York region, or I quite liked the phone code for Hawaii, but apparently I'm told by some of my friends in the US, it costs you more to make a phone call to a Hawaii area code. But I love the fact that it was 808. Anyway, 415-800-1055. You can call into the show, talk to me as long as I'm streaming live, which usually that's depicted by a live flashing kind of red bubble there, or it'll say on YouTube or Twitch or wherever you're watching. If not, you'll just get an answer phone and you can leave me a message that I will play on the show. Today we are doing noise reduction, noise removal for podcasters. So if you're in the podcasting world and you have issues getting your audio to sound as good as it possibly could, then this is going to be the show for you. Let me tell you, if you haven't subscribed, by the way, to the YouTube channel, let's just look at a rather big looking Adobe Audition there. Wow, my goodness me. Look at that Adobe Audition there. You can go over to youtube.com/musicradiocreative. That's youtube.com/musicradiocreative. And just hit the subscribe button, set reminder for any of the shows you might be interested in coming up, and what else have we got? Community.musicradiocreative.com. I can see, by the way, that over the weekend someone left me a message on my voicemail line. Hooray! 415-800-1055. I will play it in just a moment. But first of all, I wanted to do a big shout out to David Hunter, who I see is there moderating in the community. I love it when David grabs some of our audio and mixes with it. In fact, I did glance through just briefly before we started, and he said he'd like to learn noise reduction i.e. removing my vocals whenever I play a jingle, so he can remix them. So he's done, and he's posted it in low quality, so be aware of the quality. But this is a Music Radio Creative dance remix. It's 5 minutes in duration. I'll just play a little bit, but if you want to hear the whole thing, it's on the community.
Monday to Friday live.
Rather funky, isn't it? Like this. Thank you. Yeah. Wow.
Music Radio Creative. MusicRadioCreative.com.
Yeah. Love it. That's fantastic. So thank you, David Hunter, for posting there in the community over at community.musicradiocreative.com. Before I hop into it, let's feature this voicemail message. I'll give it a play. I haven't listened to it before I play it, so I'm going to play it literally live right now on the air, and we'll see what has been said. This was left on the voicemail line over the weekend.
Hello, Michael. My name is Sam. I'm calling from the United States of America. Hey, I love your show. And I just saw this number, and I just want to give a shout-out. I just want to try it and make sure the number is right. So that's why I'm calling. Thank you so much for all you do. You're really inspiring me. I am not an audio person, but due to your tutorials here and there, I am picking up the pace. And I said, I'm so glad and I'm so happy for what you do. Thank you so much, and more blessings and more insights and more enlightenment, so they can teach the world how to finesse with this audio giant. Thank you, Michael Russell. My name is Samuel Dogbe from the United States of America. Thank you.
Well, Samuel from the United States of America, that's amazing. That's the first time I've listened to that. I didn't play it before I came on, so I was just taking a risk playing a random message. But that was a lovely message from Sam. Thank you so much, Sam, from the USA. I love you, and I love anyone right now who's watching anywhere in the world. It's great to have you there. Do let me know, by the way, if you're new to the show. Just let me know who you are and where indeed you are watching from, just so I can give you a little shout out on the show. And maybe ask a question so that I can feature your question. Anyway, let's get over here and take a look. This is going back into the archives, actually. I just dug out one of my very old podcasts. I don't know, I think I sound a little bit different here. This is about 2 or 3 years ago.
This is Music Radio Creative, episode 49.
Oh, the good old jingle.
Hello, I'm Mike Russell from musicradiocreative.com. Coming up in this episode, the release of the brand new Adobe Audition CC.
The brand new release of Adobe Audition CC. Not much has changed, has it? I'm still talking about that today. So let's go over here and take a look at just a little section I wanted to cut out. I'm just going to cut this little sample of the podcast and see... even though this is a podcast that's been finished and mastered, I just wanted to look back at what my editing was like back in the day, 2 or 3 years ago, and just see if there's any improvements I can make to this, because this might give you as a podcaster some ideas that you could be doing with your own workflow. If you think you're close to perfect, there might be a few tweaks. So let's just play a bit of this audio. I believe Isabella joined in with me and was speaking as well.
Order audio online from a mobile device. Are we catering to that?
We are indeed. So from now on, you are going to be able to order your audio instantly through your mobile phone, iPhone.
Okay, while phone, iPhone. Corrected herself rather quickly there. I love it. Good old retro podcast there. So one thing I can hear here, and I might be able to just take a little look in the spectral frequency and have a look what's going on. Okay, first of all, interestingly enough, I don't know what we were running in the... back in the day when we were recording these, no audio above 16K. That might have been, might be because it's an MP3 file. Might well be that. The audio looks good. I don't think we rolled off the bass, so we got some quite rumbly bass, but you'll notice also there's some kind of echo or reverberation. And this is something that podcasters... Now, I remember where we recorded this. It wasn't in the studio I'm currently in, which is 2 meters by 2 meters and totally sound treated. So if I do the clap test... no echo whatsoever. Whereas here, that you can hear. Hang on, let's just try and replay that again. Can you hear the reverb there? And
so from
not quite there, but there probably will be a little bit over here. Let's have a listen. You can really hear. You can hear the bouncing of the echo there. So let's just go through a few ways. Now, as you know, I've mentioned plugins like Synaptic Unveil, if you've got the cash to shell out on that. But inside Adobe Audition, we can have some fun with removing echoey bits. The first thing I would suggest, rather than slamming a noise gate or something like that on it straight away, let's just have a look at the EQ here and see if there's anything we can do. So first of all, frequency analysis window, something I often open up when I'm playing about, trying to make things sound better. If you don't know how to get to that, go to window and then you go to frequency analysis. It'll pop up somewhere on your screen. And it will show you what frequencies you've got. So let's have a little listen. And as you scrub through the audio, it's moving, see, in real time.
Order.
So it either moves in real time when the audio is playing, or if you go to somewhere where the reverb is, for instance. So there's some reverb there. And then we can maybe push that to save that little print there, and we can have a look at the different frequencies. As you can see, a heck of a lot of bass here. So I think the first thing I'm going to do with this podcast, remember this is a podcast that's already been published, so the first few tips I'm going to give you are ways to up your game if you already have a great sounding podcast, because I've gone into detail before about like erasing noises or scrubbing out fans. We'll do a bit of that maybe later on, but right now focusing on the minute details here, kind of OCD-ness of podcasting. So we're going to filter and EQ, parametric equaliser, and what I can do is set this to default. And you might have seen last week I did a show on EQ and what it is and how it works. And as you can see in Adobe Audition, there are about 6 or 7 different EQs. So they all serve a different purpose. Now, I've just notched up a frequency here. Could be anywhere. It's around 3000 hertz. But the best thing with the parametric is I can actually change the cue width. If I increase the number here, you'll see it gets very notchy, so I can then find frequencies. Let's not make it too much. Let's make it about there, 15.5. I can now sweep through as I'm playing this back and try and find some frequencies that sound echoey or reverby.
And this is so important, and I don't think there is a place out there at the moment that you can order audio online from a mobile device. Are we catering to that?
We are indeed. So from now on, you are going to be able to order your audio instantly.
Right, I think around here.
Yeah.
Let's pull that frequency down. Can you hear how the reverb is reducing a little bit? I can obviously sweep this around just to check. And what I can do actually is probably be best just trim that down a bit more. Loop mode on down here. Okay, that's definitely a place there. I'm going to take that off. Now I'm going to pull this, pull the cue width up like that. All right, let's just try notching those frequencies out, see how that changes the reverberation.
From a mobile device, are we catering to that?
We are indeed. So from now on, you are going to be able to order your audio instantly for your mobile phone, iPhone, or whatever else you are using, tablet.
That's fantastic.
Okay, so just bringing out those two frequencies definitely seems to make a difference now to the echo. So EQing can be a really good way of cleaning out any excess noise. And then, as you've probably seen me show before, now we have a funky new effect since Adobe Audition CC 2018. Although a lot of Premiere Pro users have been shouting at me for calling it new, because they say, Mike, we've had this effect in Premiere Pro for years. And it's just been rehashed and now meshed into Adobe Audition. So yes, it's kind of new old effect. But for us Audition users, this is super cool. Love this. And you might have seen me use a compressor, the expander and the auto gate really are what we'll focus on here. Expander is going to help us to just push down any audio that shouldn't be getting through. And again, I'm going to set this up by ear, but you can also use amplitude statistics as I have demoed before. Let's just do it on a part that was particularly echoey.
Order your audio.
There you go. Can you see it's immediately kicking in as soon as Isabella stops speaking?
Order your audio.
But it's not kicking in fast enough for my liking. Let's just move the threshold up a bit.
Order your audio.
Up a bit more.
Order your audio. Order your audio.
Right, brilliant. So somewhere around 26, 27, maybe move the ratio up, which is how hard this expander works.
Order your audio. instantly.
Now we're getting somewhere. Pull the threshold up a bit more.
Order your audio instantly through your mobile phone.
Yes, it's jumping about a bit there, so 25.
Order your audio instantly through your mobile phone, iPhone, or whatever else you are using, tablet.
That's fantastic, because I know there's often a problem with playing audio back on mobiles, depending on whether it's flash compatible or whatever.
It's not going to be the case anymore. We have...
And this is so important.
There we go. So that's already helping, having the expander. The auto gate as well is another thing that you can stick on your final podcast, even after it's been processed, just to cut out any background noise as well. So let's set this up.
From a mobile device. Are we catering to that?
We are indeed. So from now on, you are going to be able to order your audio.
That's getting a little bit jumpy, so I'm going to move that down. But as you can see, the expander and the auto gate are kicking in.
From a mobile device.
And you can see it's green whenever it's letting audio through, and it's red whenever there's a silence, like over here.
Order your audio instantly through your mobile phone.
So, yeah, auto gate, expander, and a bit of EQ, really, really going to help you out to get rid of those little echoes or reverberations. I remember when we recorded this series of podcasts, it was back in the attic of our old home, and the attic was massive, and I didn't have any sound treatment panels either. So it kind of, yeah, the voice of both of us, they were bouncing everywhere, and I think back in that time, I think it was like a fair few years ago. I think it was like 2012, 2013 now. So we are going back in time a bit. We didn't even have 2 or 3 microphones. We just had the one. It was the Audio-Technica AT4033. Good old microphone of mine that's now gone into retirement, as I have a TLM 103 now, which is a great mic for everything, really, certainly regarding vocals. And, yeah, we were sharing that mic. We were rather intimate, had to clean our teeth before recording the podcast episodes, but you know, it worked. And these tips here, these are just like tidy up tips. They're not things that you necessarily absolutely must do, but they're definitely ideas that can help to make your show sound a little bit better. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the chat and some of the information that you've been posting up right now in the Q&A's section of of the Music Radio Creative Live show. So many of you saying hello. Like, for instance, we've got... who have we got here? We got Paige. Paige is there. Nice to see you, Paige. Peter as well.
Audio production and more. This is Mike Russell on musicradiocreative.com.
We got Robert there. We got Anas as well, watching from Kuwait today. Thanks, Anas, for the lovely, kind comments. Our VPAC production as well. Sorry if I skip through and I don't mention comments, by the way. I do my best to get in as many as I can. But what else have we got? Judgmental Jace is in and watching. What else have we got? Yeah, Jingle Mash. I know David Hunter, who I played some of his work earlier on, absolutely loves it when I do a Jingle Mash. Let's do another one. Let's play another jingle.
The audio guru is here. He knows Adobe Audition in and downtown. Is here to help you out. Mike Russell.
Daniel's watching in Tel Aviv. Nice to see you there. Isabella, who obviously you heard me feature just a moment ago, she's in and moderating as well. Javier from Argentina is there. Nice to see you. What else have we got? Playing with the voicemail without screening it. Very brave, says Jace. Yes, I know. Very brave indeed. But most folks who call my line are pretty nice people, I would say. 415-800-1055 if you want to get through to the show. Gosh, we've got lots of new viewers today. Tim is watching from BC in Canada, which is nice. And David would like to hear more of the MRC Audio Fairy. Well, I'm pleased to tell you, if you've been missing Isabella on the show, she's actually going to be joining me for part of the show this coming Friday. Let's just go on the YouTube channel here, youtube.com/musicradiocreative. Friday is going to be a Black Friday special. So set your alarm up. It's live on the Friday, the 24th of November at 2 GMT PM, whatever that is in your time zone. And we'll be going over, like, not only how to make a nice special offer jingles and bits like that, but we might well have a few little offers of our own that might be of interest to you. So definitely worth tuning in for. Right. Oh, yes. Back to the Q&A. Isabella says, how about a little on-the-go shout. Perhaps anyone has bad quality podcast audio that needs to be cleaned. Yes, indeed. If you do, then send it over and we'll try and get it on this live show. Isabella has very kindly offered, actually, if you've got some bad-sounding podcast audio, email it to Isabella right now, and if she can get it over to me before the end of this hour, I will get into it and do that. Actually, Isabella is just saying, this is great, on-the-go production right now. She's just told me to check my, let's have a look, inside my audio file here in my talent folder, because she's just dropped in some good examples of audio that need cleaning up. That is extremely helpful for me. Let's have a look. What have we got here? Podcast audio to clean. Well, thank you very much. So some of you have already been dropping in your audio. Fantastic. Let's pull that in, and we'll get to that in the next section. Daniel's wondering if the podcasts I just played are still online. They are, I believe, somewhere. Probably on our website, hidden away somewhere at producer.musicradiocreative.com. They're not currently on the Music Radio Creative podcast RSS, because that's now just the live stream. But we will get them back out, maybe packaged as a podcast at some point. Anyway, I'll get back to some more of your postings in just a moment. It'd be great to get back in to the show and take a look at some of this podcast audio. So what we got here, Isabella's dropped this in from Kelly.
Hi everyone.
Oh, wow.
Today I'm joined by Kelly Butler of T's for B's, and it's very special because we're also doing an Instagram live and people can see us on video.
So that has got a heck of a lot of background noise. Thank you, Isabella, for dropping these in. And thank you to you watching the show for emailing these over to Isabella. That was really efficient of you, Isabella, to get these over to me. And I do appreciate that. So let's, first of all, I'm just copying that. Look at that background noise here. Hang on, let's just clear this all off. Tick that off like that. Scan that selection. Whoa. Crazy. So the first thing I would suggest, if you're removing such a loud amount of noise, and as you can see, there seems to be a lot of noise here just above 100 hertz. Yeah, that's the main thing there. Selecting that in the spectral frequency display using the marquee tool here. You could do something for a small sample, like get a paintbrush here. This is the spot healing brush tool. Let's just try running that through very roughly here on this sort of bass that needs removing. This won't fix the problem entirely, but it might make some changes to the audio. Want to see how this affects things?
I'm joined by Kelly.
Not a lot of difference there. So what I'm going to do is just erase everything below sort of 250 hertz.
Hi everyone. Today I'm joined.
So already starting to sound better.
Hi everyone.
So we're hearing that a lot of the noise is there in the bass. That's good to know because you can use another effect to eliminate bass. And this is a really good effect in the filter and EQ scientific filter here. You've got a wonderful roll-off, drop-off below 250 hertz. And this is a wonderful little curve here. It's a very sharp drop-off here. If I go to the preview window, you'll see how it's cutting out the yellowness, which is the loud amount of bass frequency that's there. It's almost like a ground hum, but it's slightly more than that.
Hi everyone.
Still there, so I'm going to bring the cutoff up a bit more. And you'll hear it disappearing. But it's more than that. As you can hear, it's more than that because there's some real noise reduction, I think, needed here. So we'll do it two ways, and we can find out what the best way is for this particular show. Let's listen to this. Now, the very important thing to do when you're removing noise from a podcast is to grab, obviously, the sample with just the noise in it, like that. But it's very important that you do not grab a bit with a breath in. As you can hear, the hostess takes a breath around there. That can be really bad because, as you can see, there are some frequencies there that the breath has generated that would be removed, which you don't need to remove. So essentially, you're going to ruin the voice a little bit. So let's just select this bit. That's just pure noise, and that should be a long enough sample at, just over half a second should be enough. So two ways to do it. The traditional way is in Effects, Noise Reduction, Capture Noise Print, which we can do here. Go. And then we'll just select a little portion of this podcast. Effects, noise reduction process. Now, how does this work? Really loads of dials here, but I'm just going to go to the default display. And with all the default settings, let's see what kind of a difference it's making. Again, we'll go into preview window so we can see ahead of time what's going on. As you can see, quite a significant reduction going on now already in the preview window.
Hi everyone, today I'm joined by Kelly Butler.
So what you might want to do is first of all move this noise reduction line up here, and this is going to just start removing more of the noise.
Hi everyone, today I'm joined by Kelly Butler of T's for B's.
And now we're starting to notice that the problem here, Kelly, with your audio is actually twofold. First, you've got a lot of background noise going on that we're trying to fix. But once we unmask one problem, we unmask another one. As I was showing you with our old podcast that had a bit of reverberation from recording in the attic, you can actually hear that on Kelly's mic, she's also got some echo and reverb problems as well. Reverb, great if you're making jingles, not so good if you're recording a podcast. So let's first of all fix this noise problem and then work on the reverb.
Hi everyone, today I'm joined by Kelly Butler of T's for B's.
Okay, and what we can do is we can actually reduce this further by, let's go up to 35 dB.
Hi everyone, today I'm joined...
So we're starting to get a really, really clean sound. Now, if we think that the noise is at one particular section of the audio and we discovered it was very much at the bass end, you can actually move the noise reduction up individually on certain frequencies and attack certain frequencies a little bit more. You can particularly see this little peak here that I was talking about that relates to the yellow line there. And can you see, I don't know if you can see down there, as I notched up the noise reduction on the sort of bassy end, anything below 2000 hertz, it's starting to really rub out the noise down there, which is kind of what we want to do, because if you look at spectral frequency display above, you'll see basically the way to read spectral frequency display, it's a kind of color code. The more yellow the spectral frequency display is, the louder that particular frequency in your audio is. Then it goes to orange, then it goes to red, then it goes to purple, and then it goes to black, which is complete silence. And as you can see, we're getting virtual blackness down here now.
Hi everyone, today I'm joined by Kelly Butler of T's for B's. And...
Now we just might want to move this down a little bit more, just see, because we want to do only as much as we need. We don't want to do more than that, because then we're going to start removing frequencies that may be quite pleasant.
Hi everyone, today I'm joined by Kelly Butler of T's for B's.
Okay, that's cool. So I'm going to apply that. I'm pretty happy. So just to make sure you notice what I did there, I used the noise reduction effect. I set it all up to its defaults, so everything was as normal. Obviously, before I used this, I captured a noise print, making sure to capture only the noise and not the part with the lady's breath there, with Kelly's breath. I then went in and pumped up the noise reduction from 50% up to 90% noise reduction. So it's a harsher kind of noise reduction because of very loud noise there in that podcast. And I also increased the amplitude to reduce by as well. If I flip it around here, you'll notice there's output noise only. If I click this, you'll hear what we've removed from this podcast. And look at how, as if by magic now, we've got just the noise and none of the host speaking. Let's have a listen to it.
Hi everyone, today I'm joined by Kelly Butler of T's for B's.
So all of that noise has gone. Flip it around again and we're left with just the clean stuff.
Hi everyone, today...
And now what I'm going to do, Kelly, is I'm going to save this as Kelly Butler noise reduction. So I think you'll agree that's already a great sounding noise reduction already. Notice also you've saved your MP3 file at 256 kilobits per second constant bit rate, which is an unusual format to save your podcast in. I would say if you were going to go full fat, as it were, and have as much audio quality as possible, I would aim for 320, which is still not really the norm for podcasting. For a spoken podcast, you can usually go as low as I would say 96 is reasonable. Some speech podcasts still at 56 or 64. But most podcast hosts, I know Spreaker, the one I use, likes to accept 128 kilobits per second. So I'm just going to resample it all there. 44 100 hertz stereo. 32-bit, again, I'd change that to 16-bit, simply because a lot of media hosts I know prefer 16-bit files as opposed to the Adobe Audition 32-bit float. And yeah, everything else is okay. So let's save that. Then I'm going to bring the original back in again. We'll get over to Gary's podcast as well in just a moment. Let's wait for that to save and bring this over. And then I'm going to go back and have a look at a few more comments in a couple of minutes and apply some more techniques. So that's noise reduction. Now I'm just going to open another copy of this. And I'm going to show you another technique you can use if you don't want to use noise reduction. And also this will be good because we can compare this
Hi everyone
to this.
Hi everyone. Today I'm
Nice difference, huh? So again, what I'm going to do is select just the noise without the breath in here. And this is relatively new in Adobe Audition. It's the sound remover. So let's do Learn Sound Model here. Okay, that's fine. Select all of this, and I'll just show you the difference between noise reduction and sound remover. Now we've learnt the sound model. Oh, another cool thing, by the way, about sound remover is you don't have to go to that process first. You can actually do it right inside the effect there by clicking Learn Sound Model. And you can even save sound models as well, so a little more advanced. So let's go to Default. Make sure everything's on its default settings. And listen to, as you can see from spectral frequency here, it's done quite a bit of work already just on the default settings. Let's have a listen.
Hi everyone. Today I'm joined by Kelly Butler of T's for B's. And
now that is a little more scratchy as a sound removal process, but it's still done a decent job. So let's have a look at some of the presets we can use here. Maximum. Let's push it right up to maximum and see what this does to the audio of Kelly's podcast. It's creating the preview for us now. So sound model complexity, sound refinement passes, the number of times it will pass over and try and remove sound. Content and content refinement gone up.
it's very special because we're also doing an Instagram live.
So yeah, not quite what we're looking for, not as good as the noise reduction in the case of a podcast. You can click Enhance for Speech, and sometimes that will add just a little bit of a better noise reduction because it takes into account that this is for a podcast or a spoken word piece of audio. Let's have a listen now.
And people can see us on video. And
but still not quite as good, in my opinion, as the noise remover. But you can use sound remover for things like de-essing, removing R's and ums, removing a cell phone here as well. So you've got a ringing cell phone. It can it's got a certain algorithm that you can use to do things like that. So removing those annoying sounds that you don't want. But yeah, in general, I think I'm much happier with what I got from the wonderful effects noise reduction process there. But your mileage may vary, and obviously you might want to choose something a little bit different depending on the kind of audio you're working on. Remember, my telephone is always open to you, so you can call me either now live while I'm streaming and chat to me on the air, or you can leave me a voicemail message, as some do from time to time. Here's the number.
415-800-1055.
It's a US number, so add +1 to get through if you're outside the United States. Love to hear from you.
MusicRadioCreative.com.
Monday to Friday live.
Yes, we are live on the air. So what have we got here? Lots of great comments, by the way, coming in, so I'll try and get to some more of those, including Vincent. Nice to see you, Vincent. Big hello to you from South Africa.
This is Mike Russell from musicradiocreative.com.
Steve Moore is watching. It's morning time in Dallas, Texas this morning. Hi to you, Steve. We got Calm Noise who's saying, can you tell us the preferred distance between you and the microphone when you're broadcasting? Here's my mic, as you can see. Usually I'm about a hand span away. with a pop shield in the middle. I would suggest probably a closed handsband rather than a full stretched out one. But again, choose what is best for you. Pop shields really help. They don't really make a difference. The only thing you will notice is as I'm probably a little bit further away than if I was doing a radio show or something, but that's because I don't want a big mic covering my face. Doesn't look very good if I if I do a show like that, does it? So I probably have this TLM 103 a little bit further away from me than I usually would if, say, I was recording voiceover. You will start to lose frequencies, particularly the bass frequencies, calm noise, if you're not close enough to your mic. I'm not too concerned with that. I can tweak it a little bit on my mixing desk. Look at this. I can put lots of bass on like that. Oh, lots of bass there. But generally, the closer you get to the mic, the more bass will be picked up by the microphone. But read the instruction manual on your particular model and you'll see which frequencies are lost as you get further away or as you go to the side, whatever. This is a condenser microphone, so it kind of picks up wherever I go. If I was speaking into the legendary Heil PR40, here's one, then I'd need to speak right down the barrel. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to hear me. So good questions there on mic form and mic technique. K45 Lim. Your chat box and user chat messages are awesome. Teach us how to do that. Did that last week on the OBS studio tutorial. So go back to one of my old shows and you'll see that. Lots of people watching on Facebook today, by the way. Amazing to see so many of you over there on Facebook. So thanks very much for tuning in over there. See if I can rifle through a few comments. We got XL from Atlanta, Georgia. We got Maria, Leo as well. Vincent loves the MRC jingles, well produced. If you'd like some for yourself, musicradiocreative.com. We've already got some Black Friday offers on already on the website, particularly on voiceovers, if you're interested in that, but more to come this Friday. So make sure you're watching the live stream. That's going to be a good one. Jojo says, inspired by you in making radio promos. This is Jojo from Indonesia. Ian Dangerfield's there as well. And Ken Francis saying it's 1 o'clock Tuesday morning already in Melbourne, Australia. Wow. Amazing stuff. Another good question. Do you suggest plugins like Z-Noise or X-Noise from Waves Audio? I have not used any of Waves Audio noise reduction plugins. Now, you might already know I'm a big fan of Waves Audio plugins. But yeah, I just haven't seen the need to use them, and I just haven't got them for my own use to try them out, so I can't really show them to you here. So I've had no experience with those. I would love to try them out and find out what they're like. But yeah, Z-Noise or Z-Noise and X-Noise from Waves, no experience. I have seen some of the stuff from iZotope in action. Again, I haven't got the iZotope noise reduction plugins in my arsenal, but when I went to the IBC show in Amsterdam last year, I went to their booth and one of their engineers gave me a fantastic demo of their noise reduction stuff, and I have to say I was pretty impressed by what their plugins can do. So I'm sure iZotope and Waves are both very, very good indeed. Thanks, Steve, for the kind encouragement there. DJ Mickey TV is wondering if I'm still using iJingle. Yes, I'm still using iJingle, and I'm loving it.
Mike Russell is controlling transmission.
iJingle from the wonderful team at Camel Web Creative. Yeah, they make a great app, don't they? Great app. Yeah, I think that's about it for now. We'll probably get back into more stuff. I do realize there are a lot of questions coming in, and I apologize if I don't get to every single comment. I do my best. Eddie has said, talking bass, if we turn down the bass, what does the bass in your voice do? I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you turn down the bass, what does it do? Well, if you roll off the bass, you lose that warmth. Let me take the bass off my voice now. And all the bass is gone. Can you hear that? All the bass is gone. And we'll enhance the treble up. Oh, like that. And you go really crisp and clear, but there's not much presence to my voice now, is there? Hang on. Set that back up the way I have. And then with bass, you can go really, really deep like that. Kind of the Barry White setting. So cool. I'm really glad you bought iJingle as a result of watching the show. Like I say, I use it and I like it, and it works for me to play any jingle I should like at any time during the show. So
I am an audio geek.
Yes, I am. Thanks to iJingle. Right, let's get back to this. What I was going to do with Kelly's stuff is, again, maybe place a noise gate on here now to stop. Let's do it the old-fashioned way, and this can be a little more accurate as well. set up a noise gate on Kelly's podcast with laser accuracy using amplitude and compression dynamics processing here. Oh, here we go. Already got a noise gate set up, and it actually looks pretty good already. So that's how a noise gate looks inside dynamics processing, just like that. And as you can see, look at how it's just wonderfully, probably a little bit too aggressively, though, removing audio. So you're probably going to hear when Kelly starts speaking, it's going to kind of clip a bit. Let's listen.
Hi, everyone. Today, I'm joined by Kelly Butler of T4.
Yeah, it's just working a little bit too hard. So how do you set up a noise gate if you've never done one and you want to do it in this dynamics processing, which gives you a lot of fine-grained control on what you're doing? First of all, go into presets. Easiest way to do it is noise gate at either 10 dB or 20 dB will do. Let's do the 20 dB one. And then it's this dot here that you want to drag about. So the further, basically, to explain this in layman's terms, the further over this way you move that dot, the more audio will get through your gate. As you can see, the audio is starting to escape and get through. And then the further over that way, the more audio is going to disappear. So you want to find a happy medium. How far to the right can you drag it without really making your podcast sound awful?
Hi, everyone. Today, I'm joined by Kelly Butler of T4Bs.
So I can probably afford to drag that over a little bit more.
Hi, everyone. Today, I'm joined by Kelly Butler of T4Bs.
Starting to crack up a little bit there, so I'm going to move it over. And with this red line dropping down, you can actually see it's kicked in,
Hi,
it's
everyone.
up. So when she took a breath, you could see how it just jumped. It's very reactive, the dynamics processing effect, which is why sometimes I prefer it more to the other sort of like plug and play stuff, because you can really see what's going on. There's the breath, see? Did you see that little clip? Breath. There we go, perfect. So apply again. And then you can do all your other effects that you like. Obviously, I recommend a bit of normalization. You might want to go through and add some really cool EQ to this. So let's go through and, excuse me, hang on, got a cough. Glad I've got a cough button. And yeah, you can parametric EQ it. Let's go and find some nice frequencies to bring out in Kelly's voice here. Let's have a look. Bring up the high end a little bit.
Hi, everyone. Today, I'm joined by Kelly Butler of...
There's a really annoying boxy mid-range there, so let's just sort of... Whoa. Wrong way.
Hi, everyone. Today, I'm joined by Kelly Butler of T4Bs. Hi, everyone. Today, I'm joined...
Oh, that's sounding good. So, now we've EQ'd it. I would advise a little bit of single-band compressor on here. And again, we're going to need to mess about to find out where exactly we want to set the threshold to make this sound reasonable. Ratio of 3:1 I'm going to go for. Attack, release time down to 50 milliseconds. Attack can stay down at 0. Let's move the output gain up and see what we're left with now.
Hi, everyone. Today, I'm...
No, too harsh. Let's move the threshold up a bit.
Hi, everyone. Today, I'm joined by Kelly Butler of T4Bs.
Okay, so we've gone to that from this.
Hi, everyone. Today, I'm joined by Kelly Butler of T4Bs.
Gone from that to this.
Hi, everyone. Today, I'm joined by Kelly Butler of T4Bs. And
there you go. Noise has completely gone. Now, you might have noticed that probably the compression is a little bit too harsh, so I might ease that back. Another thing nice to add is a bit of hard limiting as well, especially if your podcast host goes nuts if you go over 0 dB or you distort. Minus 0.1 dB is good, or even minus 1 dB. Let's apply that. Whoops. No, that was that was not right, was it? Hard limiter. Probably had that set really harsh. Let's go to something like just a light hard limiting here and set that to -1. How are we looking now? -1 dB. Yeah, it's just going to make sure that nothing goes above -1 dB. And then what we can do, I'm just going to copy this and put this into a new audio file. And I'm going to do my loudness thing with this. So pretend Untitled 3 is the whole podcast. We'll go into... not metadata, match loudness, drag it down here, and I've already got it set up that it will take it. I can actually scan this automatically if I want to get the current loudness. So as you can see, it's currently -10 LUFS, which is too loud. So -16 LUFS is where we want to go. Let's run this. it's going to just change the audio there. And now that's ready, basically. If that was the whole thing, that would be ready to save and upload. Whoops, I just zoomed out there. So there you can see that audio.
Hi, everyone.
Is at the right loudness. Everything is perfect about it. You can even add metadata in the metadata window here. I'm just going to window and metadata, ID3 tags. You can do, Kelly's show by Kelly and all of that. The only thing you can't do with metadata, by the way, is in Adobe Audition is add an image file, a piece of artwork. You'd have to do that in something like iTunes or a specific piece of software. But then obviously save that out as an MP3 file. 128 kilobits per second constant bit rate, 44/100 stereo, 16-bit, and you've got a very nicely noise-reduced podcast. We'll look at Gary's stuff as well. Just looking to see if any more podcasts have dropped in, but it's quite fortunate. I can't see any more at the moment. It's quite a good thing because I'll probably spend the last 15 or so minutes on Gary's audio for you. So there we go. Shall we have another jingle? Let's have another quick jingle.
musicradiocreative.com.
Oh no, come on, make it just a little bit longer than that, please. I need to have a sip of my tea. Let's play this one.
This is Mike Russell from musicradiocreative.com.
So there we go. What have we got? Oh, wow. David has been working away as we speak inside the community, posting new jingle remixes. So go over to community.musicradiocreative.com for those. Right. And Eddie is saying here, although I can't quite feature your question, Eddie, on the screen, if you turn down the lowest frequencies using a scientific filter, you have a bassy voice and you turn it down in the mix, it's sort of minus and plus. Yeah, I kind of see what you mean. So, well, you can't put back in a frequency that you've removed, I guess. So if you use the scientific filter and remove something below 250 hertz, if you then use EQ or something later on to boost that frequency, there will be no frequency to boost. So hopefully that kind of answers your question somehow. Oh, Joe's there. Mike, do you know of a reverb removal plugin as good as Deverberate? I've not heard of Deverberate from Acon. Acon? Is that right? Is that a typo? Is that right? Because I've not heard of that. Deverberate. I've not played with that one in particular. I do know that Synaptic Unveil is a really good one. Also a D-Breath alternative. Yes, I know D-Breath is from Waves Audio. I'm pretty sure Isotope would do something similar. I've seen it, I'm sure, in one of their packages recently. But yeah, have a good look round. A D-Breath alternative is just setting up a noise gate well as well. That can also really, really be a great help. So take a look into that as well. Is there anything I can do with a sound that is distorted by recording too high? Ian is wondering in the chat on Facebook Live. Yes, there certainly is. And you would want to go to my channel. I've done a quick tutorial on removing distortion from audio that may well be of help to you if that's something that you like. Oh, we get this nice jingle while I go over and review this Gary podcast here. Oh. Let's switch off the spectral frequency display and have a look. We've got a couple of nice pips at the start of this podcast, haven't we? Let's play the pips, shall we? Oh, I thought they were pips. That's a phone call. Nice. Hang on, stand by for the logo. Here it comes. Okay, let's have a listen to this interview here.
Hello, this is Gary.
Oh, hi. Hey there, Gary. This is Adrian. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing, Adrian?
I'm fine, thank you. So, look, I'm using this fancy gizmo called No Notes.
Okay, that's interesting. So I can hear on both sides, let's just go to the end of this podcast, that the audio recording is quite low quality.
Okay.
Well, good. So I'll just give a heads up on our team and look.
Appreciate it very much.
All right,
thanks,
Adrian.
Gary.
Yeah, so obviously both sides, unfortunately, low quality audio. The best thing when you're recording a podcast, if you can, just get the audio sounding great when you record in. So try and get rid of any teething problems if you possibly can. But if not, I'm kind of showing you get out of jail free cards. for rescuing that audio. Okay, first of all, it'd be nice to look at frequency analysis here. And look at that. I mean, this is, yeah, we're literally going up to 4,000 hertz, which is the quality of a phone call on both sides. Very, very unfortunate. And, yeah, it's a shame that the host could not record their end. Maybe they did. Maybe this is just the part you've sent to me. But if you do have a caller, like sometimes I take callers onto my show, at least my audio is coming out through, you know, a Neumann TLM 103 in top quality. It's like even on the radio when you get a caller, you expect the phone call to sound, you know, just restricted to the 4,000 hertz band. But what can we do here to make this sound better? Well, first of all, again, we'll use some noise reduction on that. Can you hear that? Let's normalize that to play you some of the noise. Wow, that's like an express train, isn't it, when you maximize that? Let's look at spectral frequency display here. As you can see, just a small part of the spectrum actually being used. Let's go in and noise reduction, capture noise print. Click OK to that. And then we'll go over the whole audio we've got here, this little sample, noise reduction process. Oh, and you can actually capture the noise print in here as well. I forgot to mention that, and save them as well, bits like that. Let's go to default and see what it does in the preview window to this interview.
Hello, this is Gary.
So already making a little bit of a difference. Let's turn this up a bit. Bit more. You can just go all the way if you want, 100.
Hello, this is Gary. Oh, hi. Hey there, Gary. This is Adrian. How you doing?
Sometimes noise reduction will introduce reverb, which is kind of a bit of a double-edged sword way of using it. Let's just move this down to 70%.
Hello, this is Gary.
Okay, no, not so much reverb now at 70%. And again, we can focus on those frequencies we think might be problem frequencies by dragging them up and reducing them more.
Hello, this is Gary. Oh, hi. Hey there, Gary. This is Adrian. How you doing?
Let's move that up.
Hello, this is Gary. Oh, hi. Hey there, Gary. This is...
Yeah, so you can still hear a little bit of decay after Gary's been speaking, saying, hello, this is Gary.
Hello, this is Gary.
Let's just normalize that just to hear the noise that's still left in when Gary stops speaking. Whoa.
Oh, hi.
That is like, yeah, this is crazy, crazy noise. What I'm going to do, and I often get asked this question, is it better to compress after you've added a noise gate or better to compress your audio before or after? Well, obviously, I would definitely recommend after doing the full process to add some kind of compression and mastering to it. But in this case, as I can see, particularly as we've not got much audio to play with, it goes very loud and very quiet. So in this case, I'm going to suggest that actually adding a compressor before we add a noise gate or anything like that might be advantageous because then, as you can see already, just on these settings now, the noise is a lot more uniform. Let's move the threshold down even more, I think we can get away with, and turn the output gain up a bit more.
Hello, this is Gary. Oh, hi. Hey there, Gary. This is Adrian. How you doing? I'm good. How are you doing, Adrian? I'm fine, thank you. So look, I'm using this fancy gizmo called No Notes, which is like an app. Right.
Apply that. So that has made that noisier, and actually, it's funnily enough introduced some more frequencies above 4,000 hertz. What we can probably do is just scrub those all out because that's probably just introducing new noise that we don't need. So scrubbing them out.
Hello, this is Gary. Oh, hi. Hey there, Gary. This is Adrian. Hi.
Okay, that's cool. The next thing I am going to go and do now that we've got this all at a nice volume is go into my effects menu. I'm going to run another noise reduction over it. And the reason for this is that sometimes it can work better if you run noise reduction a couple of times over a sample that sounds really poor. So capture the noise print, default, and select this all.
Hello, this is Gary. Hello, this is Gary. Oh, hi. Hello, this is Gary.
A bit more.
Hello, this is Gary.
Right, run that over again, and then I'm going to introduce, let's do this through the dynamics effect here. Let's do auto gate and expander. Good way, by the way, I didn't show this earlier, of finding out where to set your thresholds. Scan the selection. Let's look for the average RMS amplitude, minus 27, thereabouts, dB. So now we can go in armed with that information. Dynamics. Let's switch these both off at the moment. Let's start with the auto gate. Minus 27 is where I'm going to put the threshold. Attack and release are fine, and hold is fine as well. Let's have a listen.
Hello, this is Gary. Oh, hi. Hey there, Gary. This is Adrian. How you doing? I'm good. How are you doing, Adrian? I'm fine, thank you. So look, I'm using this fancy gizmo called No Note.
Just clipping a little bit, so I'm going to move that threshold up a couple of dB.
Hello, this is Gary. Oh, hi. Hey there, Gary. This is Adrian. How you doing? I'm good. How are you doing, Adrian? I'm fine, thank you. So look, I'm using this fancy gizmo called No Note.
Maybe up a slight bit more. But as you can hear already, it's making a massive difference. Look at all the noise now that's been removed. Virtually black in the spaces where there's no speech, and then audio there. So now let's go back and compare with the original. So we've got, this is the original.
Hello, this is Gary. Oh, hi. Hey there, Gary. This is Adrian. How you doing? I'm good. How are you doing, Adrian? I'm fine, thank you.
And then back over to the treated version.
Hello, this is Gary. Oh, hi. Hey there, Gary. This is Adrian. How you doing? I'm good. How are you doing, Adrian? I'm fine, thank you.
Now, what we can do is we can then go in and play about with the EQ, even though we have a very small amount of space to play with EQ. In this case, I might even avoid parametric EQ, and I might just go straight for the kill with FFT filter. Default.
Hey there, Gary. This is Adrian. How you doing?
Let's see whether we can just bring up any frequencies around.
Hey there, Gary. This is Adrian. How you doing?
And maybe take off some of those bassy frequencies that are not going to add any value.
Hey there, Gary. This is Adrian. How you doing? Hey there, Gary. This is Adrian. How you doing?
And you can be sort of more. You can add on as many points as you want in FFT, which is sometimes it trumps the parametric EQ because you can have all of these points.
Hey there, Gary. This is Adrian. How you doing?
And it's not going to make a difference if I add frequencies here in treble.
Hey there, Gary. This is Adrian.
Because you obviously can't increase a frequency that doesn't exist. So just for sake of clarity, I'm just going to do that and lop it off.
Hey there, Gary. This is Adrian. How you doing?
So that's with the EQ. Without.
Hey there, Gary. This is Adrian. How you doing?
Can you hear it's a little more muffled? And then we put on that EQ.
Hey there, Gary. This is Adrian. How you doing?
And it's become a lot better. So again, I'm going to apply that across the whole podcast.
Hello, this is Gary. Oh, hi. Hey there, Gary. This is Adrian. How you...
And back to the original.
Hello, this is Gary. Oh, hi. Hey there, Gary. This is Adrian. How you doing?
Back to the processed version.
Hello, this is Gary. Oh, hi. Hey there, Gary. This is Adrian. How you doing?
So as you can hear, even if it's recorded on a phone and you really have not got the best quality at all, there you go for Gary and Adrian there who dropped in that sample. It really does make a huge, huge difference. You can salvage audio slightly in Adobe Audition. It really can do magic. But yeah, it's always best to try and get the audio recorded as well as you can from the source. One more mention of the phone number, then I'll mention a few more comments and questions to close off the show today. Do remember this line is open 24/7, so if you call when I'm on, you'll get through to me. Otherwise, you can leave a voicemail message on this number.
415-800-1055.
Always love to hear from you, even if it is just a short voicemail message. So go ahead and do that later on today.
MusicRadioCreative.com.
Ah, there we go. Yes, a good cup of tea. Yes, that's right. I did make myself a cup of tea. I don't usually drink tea this late in the day, but if I do, it's always black with a tea bag in. None of this milk or lemon or sugar nonsense. Tea bag and hot water. That's all I need to keep going. It's my only dose of caffeine for the day. Thank you so much to 956 DJ Nick. Love the videos, brother. Keep them going. Really appreciate the kind comment there and the encouragement to keep this content going out on the airwaves, on the internet pipes, whatever you might call it if you're live streaming. Anyone got any more questions? Do feel free to post them now in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to depart very soon. Suffice to say, though, you can join me for the rest rest of the week. I would love you to do that on all the shows that we've got coming up. Let's just have a quick glance over, and you'll see audio production for Christmas. Yes, we're getting back into it tomorrow. Audio production for Christmas. What is the loudness war? That's going to be a good one. Making an impactful DJ intro show opener. And we've got a Black Friday special this Friday. You can set reminders on all of them over at youtube.com/musicradiocreative. Also, community.musicradiocreative.com. Lots of people doing their own thing in there, posting lots of questions and answers as well. So it's a great place to get in on the action and just exchange ideas and hang out with other people who love audio as much as you and I. I can see there are a few more comments coming in here, so let's just feature them before I disappear. Be sure to listen to the logo teaser posted up in the community by David. Oh wow, David, you've posted a logo teaser. Amazing. Hang on, I can see it here. Let me just see if I can give it a quick spin. Whoa, okay, that's a little teaser, something that David in the community is working on. And Josef, who I cannot feature your comment, unfortunately, but I can mention you. Josef has said, "Hi, Mike, can you please make a video about Waves plugins and how to use them to get the best results? By the way, thanks for the videos. I'm learning a lot." Oh, that's really kind of you to say, Josef. There is already, if you're interested, a video I've made on Waves. I know a lot of people are watching it just recently as Waves have put on a massive Black Friday sale. If you just search my channel for Waves, I think it's the first result. Best Waves plugins for vocals and radio imaging. I show you some of my favorites. And I also I give you tutorials on how they all work. Plus, there is a 10% coupon there you can use on anything from Waves Audio. It'll even get you 10% off the Black Friday discount sale price. So really good value. mrc.fm/waves if you want to use that. David Lewis is there. Let's have a quick look at David's question here. Can you move markers with music tracks in the multitrack? Markers with music tracks in the multitrack. Not quite sure about that one. So you mean if there's a marker inside a track, like for instance like this, and I create a new multitrack session, there's the marker. As far as I know, I cannot move that now inside that waveform. But if I put a marker inside the multitrack, like this, M, I could move that marker wherever I want it inside the multitrack. I don't know if that helps you, David, but maybe go into a little more detail or post it up as a question in the community, and I or someone else will be sure to help you out there. Thank you for watching the show, as always, today. It's been good fun. Look forward to the rest of the week, and I will catch you over in the community at community.musicradiocreative.com. Have a fab rest of the Monday or Tuesday if you're watching Down Under.